Barca's starting lineup next season, crazy. Just adding one player, Nico Williams. The physicality of this team, especially on that left-hand side, which struggled against Inter, teams like that, it's going to be insane. Like, go ahead and push up because you got to defend this guy on the way back. Raphinha in the 10, which is probably his natural position. I think it's going to give us a lot with the press because Olmo doesn't press as much. And obviously his long-range shooting is tremendous. He's just a warrior, and he's going to help defensively as well because Pedri and De Jong, they don't have to do as much work with Raphinha in front of them as they do with Olmo. Yamal, we're not going to change anything. Set in stone, starter for the next 10-15 years. Koundé and Balde, two players we could have really used against Inter, but you know what? We still had our chances to win, and it was still a phenomenal season regardless, and they're going to be back, hopefully ready for those big games next year. But they gave us a ton throughout the whole season. Can't ask for more. Then you move on to Kubarsi and Inigo Martinez. Inigo Martinez does worry me a little bit. He's a little bit older. Those little nagging injuries, if they come up at the wrong time, this is why we need to find out what happens with Christensen, players like that quickly, because we're going to need more depth in the center back position, I think. And then Joan Garcia, hopefully he's what people say he is. He looks good from the highlights, but highlights are highlights. Every keeper has highlights. I haven't watched him enough to know. From what I've seen, obviously talented shot stopper. The one other question we have is the starting striker. Now, it just depends on the matchup. You can go with Lewandowski for certain games. You can go with Olmo in the false nine for certain games as well. It really doesn't matter who starts. We're going to be using everybody. We're going to be rotating more. There's going to be more players coming into this position. Olmo, Fermin, Raphinha might go out wide. If we're rotating Yamal, we can slide Raphinha over to the right. Just so many options you get from signing one player. That's really the key of this signing. It's not just what he gives you when he's on the pitch, but everything else that we can do as a result of him being on the roster. And yeah, we don't need much else. I mean, there's going to be tweaks here and there as we progress, right? Next season, the season after this season, potentially, we can maybe look at Julian. I think he'd be a phenomenal signing. And then you put him in this front line with his work rate and his pressing with Hansi Flick and Yamal and Nico Williams playing alongside him. It's crazy. But look out for Raphinha because his numbers might still be even crazier this next season. Playing in that 10, that central role, which he loves. He's kind of like a second striker at this point. Look out. If he's on form, the dude's going to score a lot of goals. Especially if they have to focus their attention on Yamal and Williams in the wide areas.